broadcast for shooters, hunters, and gun enthusiasts. This is the Firearms Radio Network.
Welcome to episode 133 of Gun Guy Radio. This is a podcast that shines a positive light on the firearms lifestyle. I'm your host, Jake Challand, and this is your weekly dose of positive firearms talk without the politics. Well, a few announcements before we get going this week. So, attention, Chicagoland listeners, there is a bullpup shoot in Waterman, Illinois on September 27th. It's at the Waterman Aurora Sportsman's Club, and it's put on by Manticore Arms and Ratworks, and there's going to be a zombie shoot as well, where you can bring your own gun. Family, friends, welcome. Everyone's free to enter. Not necessarily free to shoot things, but free to enter. And more information at bullputshoot.com. The Firearms Radio Network, we will have a booth there. Several of the FRN personalities will be there, and we're doing a little raffle as well. So, and you can pick up some Gun Guy Radio or Firearms Radio Network stickers there as well. So come check it out if you're in the Chicagoland area on September 27th. And also, Dallas-Fort Worth area, Jack Templin and Carol Salva of Fat to Fit HQ are doing another Tough Mudder. That's right, 2 Tough Mudders 1 year. That's crazy. So, they want you to join them. So, if you guys want to do a Tough Mudder event in Dallas, October 4th. So that's, I think, a Saturday or a Sunday. I think it's a Saturday. They're already signed up. Have several other gun runners, I think, signed up too. So, it sounds like a lot of fun. I think we're going to try to do a Tough Mudder in the Chicagoland area sometime next year, sometime in 2015. I'm looking to do that as well. So, in other news, we launched our Patreon campaign. More info on that at patreon.com/gun. And a quick note on the Patreon stuff. Those of you that sign up early, I had those early bird giveaways for This Week in Guns and Gun Guy Radio. I had some iSniper books and some Dead Zero books and some other books, and I threw in some old stickers I had. Those aren't the stickers you get. Those are just a bonus. And so I sent these out, and some of you guys, I found some extra books. So some of you guys might have an extra book. It just depended on what I found. But everyone that qualified for the early bird got their package sent out earlier this week. You might hear a lawnmower in the background because my brother's mowing the yard outside the studio here. So if you hear something buzzing, it's the lawnmower. But let's get into the main topic. But first, remember, you can also contribute to Firearms Radio Network by shopping Amazon. I know a lot of you guys already shop Amazon. And all you have to do is click the affiliate banner before your next shopping trip, and it helps us out a great deal. So, thank you. Well, welcome back to the Gun Guy Radio main topic, and we have Brownells category manager correspondent Paul Levy with us. Hey, Paul.
Hey, Jake. How's it going?
It's going great. So we're doing another mega episode, you could say.
You can call it that. Yeah, with the mega arms here. I'll say mega arms till the end.
Yeah.
I think that's really the highlight here of everything to discuss.
Very cool. So, it's been about a month since we talked. So did you get out and shoot any in that time?
Not a whole lot. Been out a little bit here. Did a little bit of shooting pistols, got out there. Got a little bit in. Not as much as I like. I got a 0 actually this evening. It's August 14th right now, and I got a 0 for Rockcastle 3-gun coming up here. I'm going there. So if you see me there, stay high.
What are you taking?
I'm taking a AR-15 I cobbled together. It's got a 1-4 Vortex on it. I got a Glock 34 and a FN SLP. So I'll do poorly with all of them, I'm sure, but they treat me pretty well. Last year I used my AUG, and on one particular stage I goofed pretty bad. It was actually the first stage. I had cleaned it, of course, ahead of time, and I didn't set my my gas setting properly. I had it on the grenade setting, and I wasn't launching grenades. So I had a single-shot AUG for about 30 seconds before I figured out what was going on, and then I was fine. But it was fun regardless.
Very cool. So have you shot that match before?
Yeah, this will be, I think, my third year going there.
Okay.
Shooting amateur, but it's a fun match. There's a lot of people there. Brownells is sponsoring it. I don't know if I pointed that out. It's technically called the Brownells Rockcastle 3-Gun Championship or something along those lines. But it's about 500 shooters, I think.
Wow.
7 stages. And then this year, I haven't shot a 3-gun match with this involved before, but this year they're going to have slugs on one of the shotgun stages. So I need to get my FN out there and see how it shoots with slugs. So that'll be interesting. That'll be a challenge. They make some entertaining stages. This year they went back to one with a car where you have to start in a car and shoot out of it. So that'll be fun. This past year they didn't. So that's always challenging, and it's like you get to shoot out of a car every day, at your own range.
Yeah, that's for sure. Unless it's your own car.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't do too much as far as shooting. I've been shooting some ground squirrels or gophers around here, and it's a plague this year of those things. Just a plague.
Huh.
But using just 22 short rounds and having a lot of fun with it. Just single shot. So
good to hear. I'm in a well-populated area, so I can't take liberties with my 22 in my backyard.
Right. Yeah, I'm never home enough but we have so many rabbits in our neighborhood. I need a good silent air rifle for home.
Yeah, and you're in Illinois. I'm in Iowa. We don't have the pleasure or the ability to own suppressors. Otherwise, that would be high on my list.
Yeah, definitely.
Farm disposal devices.
Yeah, maybe someday I can get an FFL, and then that way I can get my hands on some.
That's always a possibility.
But so yeah, we're talking, I guess, a little bit more in the realm of precision AR-15s. And ARs in general. We're talking about some 308 products too, right?
Yep. Mainly, we just got some parts to talk about today that lend themselves more to a long range or an accurate. All ARs are pretty accurate, but more of a precision build. Not so much a 50, 100-yard rifle, but a 300, 400-yard AR-15. And then the 308, you can get out to 500, 600 relatively easy. I got a 308, and it's silly how easy 500 yards is. But to kick it off, we got some optics from Nikon. This is one of our best-selling scope lines, just because of the price point and the combination of price point and quality. And that's the M223 line, the M308, and then also I brought in a P223, which is their price point 223 optic, which is pretty cool, compact. I'll show you here in a second. But this line is pretty neat. Outside of just having like a standard Nikoplex reticle, just a simple duplex reticle, you can also get a BDC reticle, which is calibrated for 200 yards, and then you have a 400 and a 600 yard, and there's hashes in between. That's calibrated for a 55 grain round going at like 3,200 feet per second.
And for newbies, a BDC stands for bullet drop compensator?
Bullet drop. You're going to embarrass me here. Bullet drop compensating reticle, I believe. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. And it's pretty handy, especially if you have, obviously a lot of AR-15s are going to shoot that 55 grain round. So it's pretty easy to match up. Now barrel length and all that sort of thing can come into play, especially if you don't match that feet per second. But Nikon does have software called Spot On, and you can actually calibrate whatever load you're shooting, barrel length, the height over bore, and calculate, input that in so you can get the proper adjustments for your reticle, or you can use the adjustments on the turrets. And one thing I should know, I think I've talked about this before. The turrets and the adjustments on these for like the $400 or $500 optic these are, it's very nice and positive. You know how a lot of cheap scopes, when you handle them, it's just kind of mushy and you hear the clicks, but it's not positive. They just kind of mush through all the settings. This, it's nice and positive. You know what setting you're on, and then returning to zero is pretty easy too. So say once you get zeroed, you can just simply lift out the cap and then return it to wherever you're at. I can depress it.
Very cool. And that Nikon Spot On app, it's an app, I guess, for phones as well, like iPhone, Android. It looks like currently it's $4.99 on iPhone. So
okay, I didn't realize they were charging for it now. That might be a new thing.
Yeah, I don't see a free version, so I'll drop a link for that in the show notes. I think on the online version is probably free, the web version.
You're probably right. Probably, yeah, if you just on your desktop, yeah, it's probably free, and on the mobile devices, you have to pay. I don't know if you buy a scope, you can get it for free or not.
They could have a coupon code or something, maybe.
I double check. I don't know about that one for sure, but it's pretty handy. I've used that and Vortex's application before. Just to throw in another similar one. Vortex's is pretty cool. I've only used it on the desktop though. I'm a simpleton, not using it on my mobile device. But yeah, it's pretty nice adjustments on it. The glass also for $450, $500 is pretty nice. Nikon's obviously known for pretty good glass. For how many optics they make, it's kind of obvious that they'd have pretty good quality glass on these. And then on this line as well, they're 1-inch tubes, varying magnification. This here is a 2:8 and relatively compact. Since they're 1-inch tubes, they're not chunky. They're pretty light and handy scopes. They also have a 1:4, and that I believe a 4:16. So they got a good variety in there. The 1:4 is obviously pretty popular. Like I said, for 3-gun, that's what I'm going to be using, 1:4. Just it's so easy to switch from that one, and you're essentially using a red dot at that point.
Right, and anything higher, you could have a potential again lost, losing your target. If you get
if you're zoomed in too far, but that's the M223. I should note that it does come. This is kind of nice. It comes with a kill flash in the box, anti-reflective device, and then it has scope covers, which normally you have to buy aftermarket on most scopes, and they're just like the flip caps, just like that. Pretty easy to operate. What you'd expect, the polymer flip caps, and then. Here's the P223, and this is the one that I think is, pretty cool. It's a really nice price point. It's right around $200. I don't have it on hand here. I think it might even be $180. But this is the 3-power. This is just a fix. There's also some variables in there, 3-9 and 3-9. Yeah, I think it's just a 3-9. I'd have to check that. But really pretty handy, especially if you don't need exactly a long-range optic. And you have a $600 AR and you don't want to spend $500 or the equivalent price on your optics, or you're just on a budget, it's a good option. And really, the adjustments are very similar in feel. The turrets are nice for this price point of scope. You can return to zero pretty easy. Hope nobody had messed with this before because I'm just turning it all over the place. But pretty good features for the price point. Adjustable focus, 1-inch tube.
That seems like a great scope if you've just built your first AR or bought your first AR. That might be a good starter scope for you.
And this one does have a BDC, so it does have what is normally the Nikoplex, but then it has 2 hash marks below it. So it has your 200-yard 0, and then I believe a 4, and then a 600. So it does have that BDC reticle too, in a pretty nice price point. I'm going to bring that up actually right now here in my browser just to double check and make sure I'm passing along the right info. But yeah, so it's a 3-power, 3-9, and a 4-12. That's the one I was forgetting. And this one here is actually less than I thought. This is $150.
Wow, that's a great value.
Yeah, there's not even red dots out there that are that cheap.
Right.
And it's I don't know.
I mean, for the most ranges that you go to, just if this is like your plinker or maybe 3-gun optic, I mean, it's perfect.
Heck, I'd put this on a 22 even. I got a 22 conversion. I'm actually thinking about doing that now. It's not a bad choice. Nikon does make a 22 rimfire optic in the same line, but I believe it's a 3-9 only. Or something along those lines.
I think that's what I have on my mini varmint single shot 22 gun.
Yeah, we got the P rimfire, and that is a 2-7, and that's 180 dedicated to the 22. It actually has a BDC reticle,
cool.
So you can be zeroed from 50 out to 150, which is pretty neat.
Wouldn't work with my 22 short though.
Yeah, good luck with that. There are guys apparently, I heard about this a few months ago, that they're taking 20 MOA bases and putting them on their 22s, and they're doing long range with their 22, like out to 200-300 yards.
Oh yeah,
with that 20 MOA base, because you need a lot of elevation adjustment to get out there. I haven't seen any in person or shot one, but I'm sure it's interesting.
Yeah, no, that'd be fun. Lob those out there and see who's better.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool. So that's the Nikon line. I should mention the M308 too. I don't have one of those here, but it's also a 1-inch tube, and then comes in I want to say 14 power or up to a 14 power optic, 4 to 16, and that's dedicated for the 308 platform. So a lot of these DPMS pattern AR-308s. That's intended really for those, and that comes with a BDC reticle. Similar features to the 223, just in that 308 platform. And those are backward right now. Those are kind of tough. Those are hot right now. So if you want one, I'd recommend getting the back orders because they are pretty popular. So that's the Nikon line. Again, known for their good glass, and for the price, you'd be hard pressed to find a better deal, frankly.
Well, and especially buying them through you guys where you have the 100% satisfaction lifetime return guarantee.
Exactly. If you have any fears of the optic break-in, purchase through us, you're going to be guaranteed forever. Or it turns out you don't like the reticle. Like me, I got goofy eyeballs and with glasses, and it's not always easy for me to look through an optic and everything be clear. So that's sometimes the case, and then you can't return it. That's frustrating. You don't have those worries with us anyways. Yeah,
that's a really good consideration when buying something. But yeah, that's what I love about you guys is that you don't even have to worry about that because you got that lifetime returns.
Yep,
but,
just send it back. We'll take care of you. On to a new supplier for us. Or newer, I should say. We recently picked up their line, Bobro. They've been out in the market for a little while, and these are their mounts. They're basically known for their optic mounts, primarily with their quick detach mounts. That's their style lever right there. There's different styles of these on the market, but this is probably one of the faster ones and probably one of the more secure ones out there. I haven't adjusted. I should have done that beforehand. Adjusted it to throw on an upper. But it's really secure. Here it's in its locked position. I'll just go through the mount itself first, or the mechanism. So here it is as if it was locked on a receiver. This large lever, you're not going to take that off, and that's not going to loosen. That's me attempting to move that. You have to first unlock this little guy here. So that depresses and then allows you to move that lever out. Okay. And it's under a little bit of spring pressure there, so it'll snap in solid. And then there, it's not going to move. You see, there's no play at all in there. You see that it just shoots out like that. So really,
so it has it's sort of a safety detent mechanism in the front of the lever.
Yep, pretty much. So I don't know if you can see that when I slowly lock it.
That seems like one of the more lower profile quick detaches too that I've seen.
Yeah, as far as height, yeah, that's pretty tiny. There's not large knobs or anything like that poking out. And really the side of your receiver is going to be about there. So it's not going to be protruding much at all. And it's not interfering, obviously. It's pretty far from that scope tube, so you're not going to have any trouble getting in there while the optic is actually mounted too. So that's really nice. They're all aluminum. This isn't one piece, but you can see it's secured in here and secured rather well. I don't know if you can see it attached, but it's got 2 bolts, and then the bolts are teeth, so it ratchets basically into place so it can't walk off, which is a pretty cool feature. And then this indexing tab, you can see there's a little prong on it, so it's going to fit nice and snug in between your Picatinny rails, so it's not going to be sliding back and forth under use. So it's well thought out. There's also a large roll pin, which one secures the top portion, but then also indexes also in your Picatinny rail. So really a pretty clever mount. Let me see if it'll mount up here for me on this Mega Arms.
And they're a really good price point, too. They're anywhere from $129 to $219, so they're not too bad there either.
So here I got an upper receiver. I'm just going to throw it on just to demonstrate how it mounts up. Make sure I'm on camera here. So a rock into place, and then you can see here there's not a lot of mounts when you throw them on. And if that middle portion isn't machined right or it's slimmer than this gap here, you'll get play front to back.
Yeah, then the gap in the Picatinny. Yeah.
This doesn't, you probably can't see it very well, but that's not sliding front to back. That's well thought out. A lot of times when you mount, you got to put pressure on them in a forward position, then lock it into place so it doesn't shift during recoil. This one, that's not moving at all. And then simply lock it down. And there you go.
Nice.
That's not going to come off.
Yeah, those are pretty cool. I'm pretty impressed just seeing them on the interweb.
And then another point, I didn't realize this until my coworker pointed it out to me. You look at this, the rings themselves, and it just looks like a standard, screw in there. Oh, here's their little Allen wrench they give with a little boomerang thing. It's kind of cool. But he showed me this, and this will just help align that top ring. See, it's not really a screw. The post of that screw is actually in there, raised up through the bottom.
Oh, so they're like nuts instead of screws?
Yeah, basically you got bolts that you screw on the top. Yep. My verbiage is off there. So that's an interesting little concept they've got. So it's got the secure post riding up through the ring that basically makes sure that everything's aligned when you go to clamp on that scope. You'll also notice, too, that there's not any machine marks on there. You're probably not going to have to lap this much, or if at all, when mounting your scope. So that's really nice. We're not going to sell any lapping kits, I guess, for that one. And then also they do the various mounts with rings. This here is basically their standard or slightly forward, and then they have a few that are extended forward, and then a really super extended one. That really allows for those 1-to-4s or those optics where you don't want to mount over your handguard, and you just need that extra. You just got such a large scope that you need to have the rings that far forward, which is really pretty handy. A lot of guys don't recommend mounting over your upper receiver onto your Picatinny railed handguard, just because you have 2 interfaces there that might not play well together. So that's one more thing to maybe shift your scope. So that's a handy option. And then here's their T1 or H1 aim point mount. Obviously the H1 and the T1 are pretty popular. Same mounting system, but then for the H1 and the T1. And I don't think those optics are going anywhere soon. I know there's a new model coming out. I believe it has the same interface, but really a slick little mount for that pretty cool optic. Again, just the same mounting device on that there.
Very cool.
So those are the mounts from Bobro. Really, pretty nice stuff. I'll probably have to the next optic I get, that's going to be up there on one of the ones I look at or consider. And then moving on, we got parts from Mega Arms. I got a few to show you. We recently brought Mega Arms. These should be on the website by the time everybody's viewing this. But basically, we're bringing on Mega Arms' line of receiver sets, 308 and AR-15, megalithic, and the MKM receiver sets. So what I have here is their ambi receiver set. I'll just start off with the lowers without the rail or the monolithic here to start with. But billet aluminum receiver set. Another AR-15 receiver set. This one has the nice feature of having the ambi bolt release. So on the right side, so you're shooting, need a mag change, insert your magazine, depress that button, and your bolt's going to go home. So instead of having to take your left hand and operate, or even to lock back the bolt, you can operate over here. So that's pretty handy.
Well, and some may view that as a better option than like the bad lever or whatnot.
Correct.
Because you don't have to stick your finger in the trigger guard to depress the bolt release.
And then you also don't have to worry about any play or the bad lever fitting your particular receiver set. This is built in, and plus it's clean. It makes sense for this particular receiver. And really well done. One thing everybody here noticed, and you mentioned it earlier, is everything on these is made well. Like everything's smooth, it's rounded. It's not just taken off the machine and then anodized. It's well thought out, done properly, and a lot of design and thought went into this. Everything from the ejection port or the shell deflector, the ejection or the forward assist is slightly different. Everything's rounded, smooth. With the cam pin cams, that's rounded. Even the rail, it doesn't have jagged, just corners on it. So that's pretty nice. Integrated trigger guard, of course, since it's billet. Nice feature there. And then it also accepts the screw to take out any play in the upper receivers, which the nice thing when you buy a set like this is you're not going to see any light. You know how a lot of ARs, you pick them up and there's play in them, which isn't necessarily anything that's going to affect accuracy. A lot of people just don't like that play or that movement. And here I can't even see light. I'm looking right at the screen and I can't see light through this gap here.
Yeah, they are very precisely fitted together, and it's really attention to detail. And I had, I don't know if it might have been sometime last year. I interviewed them. Can't remember what show it was, but I asked them, if they did like factory seconds and stuff like that, if I could buy those. And he said, you know where the factory seconds go? They go in my scrap heap. He said, we only send out the best.
Yeah. Now that you mention that, I've never seen a second from them. So that's a good point. Along those lines, here's a similar part. It's a little bigger. This is a 308 mass receiver set. So essentially the same thing, just scaled up a bit. Still got the ambi release. But a little bit beefier for that 308 platform. So they're known for their Ma 10 line, and this is a pretty nice starting point for a 308 build. Just to compare, I don't know if some viewers aren't familiar with the 308 ARs, gives you some size comparison. Yeah, if I could stack them. They're a little bit longer up front, but they do end up being a little larger rifle. The 308's probably my favorite rifle to shoot at the moment, just because you can do so much with them. They obviously got a bit more capability at long range. Plus, they're just fun in general to shoot. I don't know what it is about them, but they're nice.
Did we mention that you have to buy these as a set?
Correct. I don't think I did mention that. But you do have to buy the 308 as a set. You can buy the ambi lower by itself because that'll interface with the standard AR-15. But the ambi 308, any Ma 10 part from Mega, you got to buy with a lower and upper matched because of the contour of the cut. I believe it's a Knights or an Armalite style cut, but it is matched to their line. Because if you buy somebody else's, I have that up. This is the portion that's different. You buy somebody else's, you're going to have a gap in there. It's not going to quite match up. It's not going to interface properly.
Right. For audio listeners, it's the gap we're talking about where the two receivers come together and then towards the buttstock, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Just behind the rear takedown pin where it tapers up to the buffer tube. That angle there is going to be slightly different than, say, a DPMS pattern. Or others out there on the market. I want to say it's Knights, but don't take my word for that. You do have to purchase these as a match set, which you probably want to anyways, just because they fit so well and it makes sense together. So that's the receiver sets, and then I'll jump into what I think are the cool parts. I'll pull out the.
Well, and I think one of the reasons they do fit so well is because they are match sets. That way they can ensure both parts are finely machined.
Definitely. And Mega controls, all the quality. They control both parts. Yep, you got it. So here is their megalithic AR-15 set. I'm not going to be able to get this on my camera, probably. So back up a bit.
Now, this premiered at this year's SHOT Show, I think, right?
Possibly. I'm not too sure on that one. There's probably a good chance of that. It is relatively new, especially with this feature here, which is the little level. They got built into the side. I think this is patented for them. But built into the side of the receiver or in the top rail is a built-in little level. So you get your scope set up, you're in your rest, you get ready to shoot. You want to make sure, say you're shooting at 600 yards, you want to be level so that any adjustments are going to hit on target. Pop this little guy out, make sure you're level before you take your shot. Some pretty cool features on this, obviously being one piece. That's why I brought this for the Precision AR podcast, because you're not going to find a more precisely built upper or lower receiver than this probably. I wouldn't know of one. It has a QD socket on both sides here, closer to the back of the receiver. Key mod on the sides and then the bottom, then Picatinny on the top. But everything feels pretty good. It's not a large handguard either. You can see the internal diameter isn't. It's not a giant tube or anything. It is. It's pretty well lightened too. Like most handguards are going towards now. It took out as much material as possible. And then this set does retain the ambi capability, so that does have that as well. Really a pretty nice part.
Now, remind me, the rail and the upper are truly one piece?
Yes. I'll scan it past the camera here, but from front to back, it's all one piece of aluminum.
That's pretty impressive.
So if it says megalithic, they're all one piece upper receiver. There's no where you can see where there would normally be a gap. I'll show you their MKM here in a second, and that's a two piece, but this one here is it's blended well. That's all one piece of aluminum. That's a pretty big chunk to be machining all at once, which does require a special barrel nut.
That was my next question. So how does this affect barrel and gas block installation and stuff like that? So
it's a little different. So what you do is set your upper up in your vise, or I'd recommend like a Geise reaction rod, because not all clamping blocks will fit with this because of the different style. So you got your Geise type upper tool, and then here's the barrel nut. You say, well, how do I install the barrel nut down in there? Well, it ships with this wrench.
Oh, wow.
Which is basically it's basically a pipe with the teeth cut out for the barrel nut. So that'll simply install on the nut or on the tool, and you'll insert that under the handguard. So you'll set up this on your Geise reaction rod. Insert your barrel. You're going to have to leave the gas block off. So you'll put your barrel nut on, and then this goes down inside, and then you use a 1/2-inch torque wrench to tighten it up. So once you got your barrel nut snug, then you have to install your gas block. If your gas block extends out here, say if you have a rifle length, it'll be out here. Now, if you have a mid-length or a carbine length gas system, you're going to have to use a set screw gas block and then install the set screws up to the bottom. And I did do it. You have to, mid-length gets to about here, and you just got to tap it down. It was a little snug. You just have to tap it down with a brass punch to get it down there lined up. You may have to tap it around on the sides, but it's not too hard.
I guess that wouldn't be too bad, because those key mods offer a pretty wide opening, and the other openings are pretty wide.
You do want to make sure to install the gas tube prior to doing that. Just a word of advice. And they do come with pretty nice instructions. I'll snag those. I got one laying over here. They are very nice, with pictures and torque values, what tools you'll need.
Color pictures?
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Like here for they recommend like the reaction rod, or say like a DPMS for the 308, the DPMS block. That's what you want to use for the 308. And that does work pretty well. I've used that block myself.
Do you guys sell both the Geisley and the DPMS blocks?
Yep, we sell both those.
Okay.
We like our tools. Here's a good picture of the. I don't know if you can see that. There's the gas block in there. So you got to make sure. Then you just tighten those set screws through the key mod opening. It's really not too hard. I did put one of these together and did a setup, and it takes just as long as any other rifle to put together. It wasn't bad.
Right.
And then it does ship with one key mod rail. Both key mod, you're going to want to use all the direct key mod attachments, I'd think, anyways, for your light attachments, your bipod, anything like that. That's the neat thing about key mod. I will show this real quick. This is just the upper itself. This is the AR-15 upper. So, like we said earlier, the AR-15 parts are compatible with other AR-15s, but the 308s are not. So here, that has a standard cut, like an AR-15 at the back, interfaces on standard AR-15, M16 lower receivers. And you can buy this just by itself.
That's very cool. Yeah. It really gives you a great looking, streamlined rifle for sure when you're all done.
They do look pretty nice. And then lastly, we're going to have the AR-15 and the 308. So we got the megalithic in 308, and we're going to have the AR-15 in 308, and we're also going to have the MKM in AR-15 and 308. And that's this version here. It comes with a lower receiver as well, and that's the two-piece. So you got your 308 or AR-15 upper receiver, and then it has an interface just for their handguard, and that's it right here. So this way you can install a barrel traditionally, you can access everything easy, and this is also a cheaper option than the megalithic. And then this will attach, the handguard and upper receiver will attach like this, and it's a very tight fit, which is a good thing. You can see there that there's no play in there.
I think for a two-piece, this is like one of the most tight-fitting options on the market, don't you think?
Oh, yeah. When I first installed it like this, just seeing how it went together, I kind of worried myself when I couldn't get it off because it was so tight. But then it'll install with set screws on all sides there, and that's not going to move. This is as close to monolithic as you can get. But then also you get the key mod on the side, but then also at the 130, what would it be, 430, and all those positions on the side. So you get a little bit more mounting options. Then also the interior is a bit bigger in diameter. You could probably fit a suppressor down there, or some suppressors if you wanted.
Or maybe could you fit a bull barrel maybe on this?
Oh yeah. You could fit it on both. See, I'm not gonna there. That is pretty snug, and that's not going to shift on you. So, again, that's why I brought these on the Precision AR-15 podcast, just because.
What's that thing take, like 12 or 14 set screws?
12, yeah, 12.
And
then it's got I didn't show this on the monolithic, but both have this little window so you can see the bottom of the barrel. So when you're installing, you can make sure that your barrel extension is flush with the receiver. It's in contact. Because normally you could view that. With these, you can actually, they cut that out so you can make sure you're tied up against the receiver before you put your barrel nut on.
That's a good idea. That's awesome.
Really, it's just well thought out. The parts are made well. Again, that's what we like here, is seeing parts come in that are just obviously a lot of effort went into making this, and we know our customers appreciate parts like that, and we do too.
Absolutely, yeah, and they're Mega Arms are a great company as well. They really stand behind their product and really pay that ever so close attention to detail. I mean, far more than some other manufacturers out there. I'll just say that.
Yeah, when we bring on manufacturers, we like them to share similar values as us in regards to customer service and then quality. And then no matter what manufacturer you are, occasionally something will happen with your product, something unknown, stuff gets out. But whether or not they step up and take care of it, that's when you really find out what a company is made of. So pretty much any company we work with follows that same value. So, and Mega Arms, Nikon, Bobro, they're no different.
All right. Well, I think we outlined all the parts to build everyone's next AR or AR-10 here.
The main components, anyway.
Yeah.
So you got to check out our site for everything else, I suppose.
Well, that's a trick. You highlight all the fun, sexy-looking main components, and then they have to go buy all the little springs and stuff.
We got barrels, we got muzzle devices, we got all the good stuff. I like looking through barrels. That's always fun. And we got some good offerings now on barrels. We got probably the best barrel selection we've ever had. A lot of good stuff there.
Very cool. And you have Brownells branded barrels too, right?
Yep, we got the Brownells branded barrels, which are a great option in all sorts of calibers, 7.62 by 39, 6.5 Grendel. We're working on having a 450 Bushmaster, a 50 Beowulf, those alternate calibers that people are looking for that can't find good options. And then we got all sorts of other barrels like Dano Defense, White Oak, fantastic barrels.
So, Paul, have you built any of those alternative calibers, ARs?
No, not yet, but my coworker, Roy Hill, the copyright, I think you've met Roy. He put together a 12.7, that 50 Beowulf. He just put that together. We need to scrounge up some ammo. That thing is. He had to. I think he's going to do a multi-part series on how to put one together. I think he already did it for assembling the barrel, but he had to mill out the ejection port.
Oh, really?
Because that brass is fatter than 223, so you got to hog out a little bit on the ejection port to be able to eject. But we're actually going to have some dedicated larger caliber uppers here pretty soon. I want to say from Cross Machine and Tool, where they come from the factory already machined out. So keep an eye out for that anyways. So you don't have to take your Dremel to your upper.
Very cool. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what comes on the market the next couple of years now that this, big rush to just buy anything has, died down. Now we're going to probably see some more unique products come online.
Oh, yeah, and that's the cool thing with AR-15s. It's slowed down right now, but people love playing with them and experimenting with the calibers, options, different ways just to do an upper receiver. I don't think, 20 years ago anybody would have thought to do something like that, make the entire upper receiver out of one piece, but guys are doing it now. How things attach together with key mod, M-lock, that sort of thing. It's not slowing down as far as what people are doing with them. So that's pretty exciting. Yeah,
really fun to see all the innovation. So, I'll link to everything we talked about in the show notes, and including the app. And then, by the time this releases, the Mega Arms stuff should be up as well. So,
yep, should be up there.
Very cool. Well, thanks so much, Paul. We'll see you in about a month.
No problem. See you then.
All right, well, that wraps up the main topic, and let's talk a little bit about Duluth Trading Company. If you're looking for manly workwear, we're heading into the fall here, so you might be looking for long sleeves, and you can hear that lawnmower again, so apologize for that. But you might be looking for some jeans to do yard work, some fall cleanup, and I love wearing my Duluth fire hose work pants whenever I'm working around the farm or working at home. It's, just awesome to have all the pockets they have and the durability they have, and, just real comfortable pants as well, because they have the hidden crotch gusset, so you can crouch without the ouch. But, check them out, Duluth Fire Hose Work Pants, gunguyradio.com/Duluth. And so let's talk a little bit about Patreon. So I kind of a cool announcement here. So the first 5 patrons that have signed up, we have 2 signed up already, but the first 5 that sign up at the $15 an episode level, which I know is definitely not for everyone. I'm blown away that 2 of you guys are contributing at that level. I'm really grateful for that. But so LA Police Gear has thrown in some cool stuff for the first 5 that have signed up at this level. And you know what? Let me look real quick and tell you what I got. All right. So I got the packaging list here, and we have looks like 5 different items, I think, if I count right here, for the first 5. So the first 5 patrons that give it the $15 level. So 2 of these are already taken because 2 guys are already contributing at this level. So in a couple months when I send out the complete bug out battle box, battle box. These will be part of it. So we have LA Police Gear patches, hats, and then an ammo can. So each of the 5 get an ammo can, and then also their operator L1 flashlight, which has just a huge lumen rating on it. It's pretty cool. And then also their bailout bags. Yeah, their bailout, excuse me, their bailout bags that this is what I use for a range bag. It's an awesome bag, has ammo slots on the side, or pouches on the side, and divider in the middle, and a hidden pocket for to put a handgun in, and just a great combination, a great convenient sized range bag. It's not too small and it's not too big. It's just right. So it's really cool stuff. So each of you, the first 5 guys are getting one of the bailout bags. It looks like I have 2 black and 3 green, so I guess I'll have to randomly choose what color you guys get. But or you can send me a message and say, "Hey Jake, I want the green one." Actually, my range bag is the green one. I like it. But yeah, so pretty cool. So, the patches, the hats, the tactical flashlight, the ammo can, the bailout bag. So that's all, part of these first run of battle boxes that we're sending out to our $15 an episode patrons. So pretty exciting. Big shout out to LA Police Gear for furnishing that stuff for you guys, and we're constantly looking for more and more stuff to add into these battle boxes, and also working with Ryan Cross to, we got the stickers pretty much all set for if you give it just the $1 an episode level, you get the awesome 4-inch by 4-inch Gun Guy Radio sticker, and also the same size Firearms Radio Network sticker. And like I said earlier, I sent out those books, and they have some stickers with them, but those aren't the ones you're getting. Those are just older ones I had. They're freebies, so you're going to also get these. So, but yeah, and then the sharpshooter level, we're doing a morale patch, shirt, or hat, and we're going to rotate through those. So every 3 months, you get one of those. And then we rotate through them, and I'm going to continue to be working with Ryan to come up with new designs for T-shirts and stuff like that. And so yeah, a lot of cool stuff. And we're at 14 patrons supporting Gun Guy Radio right now, which is pretty awesome. Thank you guys so much. And we're at $44 per episode. So our first milestone goal is up at $250 per episode, which I know we can get there because, the We Like Shooting podcast, they're past the $300 per episode level. So I know you guys can bring Gun Guy Radio to that level, and that's where at that level we bring back the classic Gun Guy Radio roundtable discussions where we bring in other guys from FRN, other hosts, and we gather around once a month to answer your questions. So it'll be kind of a throwback to how Gun Guy Radio was structured a lot of the time when I had guys here live in studio and stuff like that back when Zach was on a long time ago. It'll be kind of a throwback to that. So looking forward to that, and thank you guys so much, for making this possible. And so I guess that brings me to Ryan Cross, Hunter of Design. Ryan Cross is designing all this awesome artwork for the stickers, the morale patches, the T-shirts. So if you want awesome branding for your business or an awesome logo, for whatever you do, contact Ryan Cross, hunterofdesign.com. Well, if you'd like to share your thoughts and feedback by leaving a comment on the bottom of the show notes or there's no YouTube video this week, so you can't leave. I got to take that out. I haven't done a YouTube version of this show for a little while, but that's something else I'll start doing once I start hitting these milestone goals on Patreon and get to the point where I can quit my dreaded day job. I'll be able to do a lot more on this show and all the shows, and maybe even launch some new shows. There's actually one new show I would love to launch, but probably, all goes well sometime next year. Leave an iTunes review if you haven't already. I haven't had an iTunes review for a while. Maybe I had one recently, but I was looking there, not very many recently. We have a lot. I think we still have the most on the network, but please leave an iTunes review if you haven't. And also join the Second Amendment Foundation and the NRA. I am a member of them both. And, they do things for our firearms rights, gun rights, concealed carry rights, just freedom in general that we as individuals can't do. So don't forget to shop Brownells and Amazon using their affiliate links on gunguyradio.com or firearmsradio.tv. I had a listener email me this last week, I think, and for some reason the affiliate link wasn't showing up, the banner wasn't showing up, so he wanted a physical link, so I sent that to him. So let me know if you guys have any problems with that. I can send you a physical link that you can just bookmark, or actually you can bookmark firearmsradio.tv/Amazon. Firearmsradio.tv/Amazon will take you right there as well. So big thank you for taking the time to click over there before you shop every time. It just helps pay the servers here, and just really appreciate that. So that about wraps it up. So don't forget to check out all the other awesome shows on the Firearms Radio Network, firearmsradio.tv/iTunes for the master feed. And that's a wrap. We'll see you next week.
This has been a production of the Firearms Radio Network. You can find more information at firearmsradio.tv.
I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, did he fire 6 shots or only 5? Now, to tell you the truth, I kind of forgot in all this excitement. But being this is the Guns of Hollywood podcast on the most popular pro-gun podcast network in the world, and will blow your eardrums clean out, you've got to ask yourself a question. Have you subscribed yet? Well, have you, punk? Gunsofhollywood.com, or search Guns of Hollywood on iTunes or your favorite podcatcher app. Punk.